The cold steel N gauge 3 inches and 4116 SS steel is too expensive, at least as of late 2023. I really like this knife. I've raved about it multiple times on this channel. It's extremely lightweight. The Atlas lock is very strong, one of the strongest in the world next to the Triad lock. It's also very convenient. It's very fast. It's ambidextrous. I say it beats the Benchmade Axis lock and all of the Axis lock clones. It's stronger. I guess the only reason you may not prefer it over the Axis lock is if you don't want a knife to have a spine actuating locking mechanism, you want it to be side actuating, but objectively it is stronger. It's just as fast, I argue. The blade steel kind of sucks, but it's good enough. I don't have a problem with 4116 SS. It gets razor sharp, sharpens very easily. No, it doesn't maintain its edge very long, but you can resharpen it. As long as you strop it, maintain it, you'll have no issues. But at this price point, I am going to say, yeah, it sucks. You can get these for around the $60 range at the cheapest currently. Why? I don't understand what's going on. I'm not trying to blame Cold Steel for pricing this too high because the retail on this knife currently is $79.99. That sounds about right. I mean, I still think it's a little expensive, but it's not the end of the world. Knife Center, right here, I'm using my old phone. $63.95 for this exact model currently. Amazon, where we normally have the cheapest of the cheap, $62.95. Blade HQ, there's the OD green version of the knife at $64.95. Doesn't really matter what version you get, as long as it's the same blade steel and handle material. Just above $60 typically. Now, you might not really know if that's a good price or not if you're a little bit newer to knives, not really too familiar with blade steels and such, but we have a GFN handle scale right here, which is glass and plastic mixed together. Very common, used a shit ton across the knife industry. Very good stuff, very lightweight, very easy to mold it into any specific shape. You can put whatever kind of pattern you want on there very easily. It's very light, it's strong enough. Great material. But we have a very small amount of it right here. And that's all it is. There's no steel liners or any other materials in there for the structural integrity or the overall construction. Not a big deal. That really makes it very light. It's extremely light. I think it's 2.4 ounces or something. Let's just find out what my scale is saying. 2.37, under 2.4 ounces, according to my scale. That's nice and all, but objectively speaking, if we're just looking at the amount of materials we have here, there's not a whole lot going on. It's a very thin couple of handle scales made of the GFN. Pocket clip swappable to the left side, thank God. Atlas lock, it's a steel bar with a spring. There's 2 pins in there. I mean, it's not the cheapest locking mechanism in the world to produce, but it's not that expensive either, I would imagine. 4116 SS is a very cheap blade steel. If anything, it performs a little bit beneath HCR13 MOV, which is on a lot of cheaper knives. It's certainly not as good as AUS 8. It does not retain an edge as long as that. It's a more budget-friendly blade steel, and I understand that if you're throwing a budget-friendly blade steel onto a budget-friendly knife, that makes sense. If this is like $25 or something, amazing, great deal, great knife for the money. $60? Huh? Do we get 3 of these for that price? I'm sorry, but that's a lot of money. Let me prove it to you. Cold Steel Range Boss. Let's look at these head to head. We're just looking at the amount of materials. We're not going to be talking about the weight or what the knife would be good for in particular. We're just talking materials, what they are, and how much of them are we getting objectively. GFN handle scale. We have a Zyx handle scale, I believe, on the Range Boss. It's basically the same thing. I think it just is a little bit more reinforced. There's a little bit more glass content in there. At the worst, at the very least, it's the exact same material as this, but at most, it's slightly stronger. We're certainly getting more of it here. It's objectively a longer knife. We have a longer blade, more cutting edge. Same exact blade steel, 4116 SS. They're both 4116. They're both made in Taiwan. Taiwan? You guessed it, Taiwan. Granted, this is a black wash finish instead of a stone wash finish, but I doubt that's going to make it, $40 more. They're both tip-up carry. In fact, the Range Boss comes with a second pocket clip you can use to put on the left side. This one does not. Triad lock on our Range Boss. Atlas lock on our N gauge. They're both good at different things. Overall, the Atlas lock, I'd imagine, is a little bit more expensive to produce because there's a couple more parts here instead of a torsion bar. The lock bar pivoting on a single pin and then a stop pin, we have a little bit more of a complicated lock bar on a spring instead of a torsion bar, and then 2 stop pins instead of 1 stop pin. Guess how much this guy is? Well, it retails at $57.95. So, like 23 bucks cheaper or so. So already, if we're just looking at the amount of materials we're getting, no competition. The Range Boss is a better deal. But you can get these currently for about 40 bucks, oftentimes less. This is on Blade HQ. Yeah, under 40 bucks, 37.11. I got this guy for I think 32. Maybe it was a sale or something, but under 40. This guy's a little over 60. So again, on average, this is about 25 bucks more, and we're getting less materials here. This is a pretty good deal for under 40 bucks, 4116, with this long of a knife and with such a strong locking mechanism. At this weight, it's a little bit heavier. I think it's like 3 point something ounces. 3.34, about an ounce heavier. So we have the same materials here, if not arguably better, and there's more of it, and it's 25 bucks cheaper than this, and they're both made in Taiwan. You know what's really funny? You can get this Spartan for cheaper than the N-Gage on Amazon currently. That's just a sale that's going on right now. But I've seen this price pretty consistently stay at around $60, even a little bit under $60 these last few years. I've been eyeballing the Spartans and eyeballing all the Cold Steel knives for a long time. That price stays pretty consistent. There's our N-Gage. Look up our Spartan. $53.20. Granted, it's on sale. Here, let's look at one that's not on sale. $64.88 for the serrated model. That's the newer Spartan. Not really interested in that one at the moment. At the moment, subject to change. But the Grivex handle scales, just like this one, AUS 10A blade steel. It's going to be a lot better than the 4116 SS, especially at that price point. Look at how much. Is this even? Do I have to make this video? Do I even have to talk about this? Look at the difference here. This is cheaper than that. Huh? What's going on? I'm just confused. Can anyone explain this to me? Why is this so damn expensive? Don't get me wrong, I really like this knife. It's my go-to sweatpants EDC / defensive folder. But if you could get this for cheaper, if not the same price as that, as far as materials are concerned, these are better, and we're getting a lot more of them than that. And most of the time, you're going to be paying less for the Spartan. I'm not saying that's Cold Steel's fault. I'm not saying Cold Steel made this cheaper than that. It's just what's going on in the market. It's what's going on at every single store outside of Cold Steel that sells knives from Cold Steel. That's what's been consistently going on for about a year now. Ever since I saw these come out, that's what I've been observing, and I haven't seen them drop yet. Can anyone explain this to me? I'm just making this video because I'm really confused. Why is this knife so expensive? Sometimes that happens. Lately, the past couple of years, I've been seeing knives come out that just are demanding what I consider to be outrageous prices. 65 bucks for this, even 60 bucks, hell, even 50 bucks. That's a lot. If it's 50 bucks, I would like at least like a 4-inch blade, like a bigger, thicker handle, something, anything, maybe G10 handles. A better blade steel, AUS 8. Come on, even AUS 8 I would rather take. Again, no problems with the knife as it is, pretty much. I like it. If it were like a little less than 30 bucks, 27, 28, home run, great knife for the money. $60? No thanks. And I'm a sucker. I bought it for that price. I already paid for it. It's a done deal. But until these guys drop to like a little under 30 bucks, I'm not going to call that a high value knife. Absolutely not. Really a shame. I have no idea why these are so expensive right now. If anyone can prove to me otherwise, if anyone can argue against me, please let me know in the comments down below. Call me an idiot. Maybe I am, but as far as I know, as far as of what I've seen, oh, look at this. This is like 9 point something ounces. I'm not saying it's better because it's heavier. I mean, that just proves that there's more materials here, and they're better materials. Look, fully nested, flush-mounted stainless steel liners in there. What is going on? Why are you so expensive, my little N-Gage? Love you, I mean it, but you are laughably expensive right now.